December 11th, a date that has seen America humbled by surprise attack, make fateful environmental choices, ignore economic warnings, and leave itself vulnerable in a new kind of war. It's a day when strategic blindness, short-term thinking, and technological arrogance have repeatedly cost the nation dearly. What's the common thread? A failure to accurately assess the threat, whether from foreign empires, our own economic systems, or the very technology we create. This is the story of America's greatest mistakes on December 11th. Some of history's most costly errors happen not in moments of panic, but in periods of complacency. They happen when we're so confident in our own power or understanding that we miss the warning signs of a coming storm. On this December 11th, we're examining 3 critical failures of foresight: a military blind spot that led to catastrophe, an economic philosophy that sowed the seeds of collapse, and a technological oversight that created a new frontier of vulnerability. Let's begin with the day America's sense of invulnerability was shattered. Mistake number 1. The road to Pearl Harbor, a failure of strategic imagination, 1941. It's 1941. Tensions with Imperial Japan are rising, but war seems a distant possibility to most Americans. The U.S. Pacific Fleet is safely harbored at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, a fortress believed to be beyond the reach of any enemy. The context: the U.S. had broken Japan's diplomatic codes and knew an attack was possible somewhere in the Pacific, but a combination of racial underestimation, belief in the overwhelming deterrent of the fleet, and the sheer distance involved led to a fatal assumption. Pearl Harbor was too far to be a target. The December 11th blind spot. While the attack occurred on December 7th, by December 11th, 1941, the United States was fully at war, and the postmortem had begun. The mistake crystallized. It was a catastrophic failure of strategic imagination and intelligence synthesis. Warnings were dismissed, defensive preparations were minimal, and the fleet was left vulnerable. The consequence: the attack destroyed or damaged nearly 20 U.S. naval vessels, over 300 aircraft, and brought the U.S. into World War II. It stands as the most devastating surprise attack in American history, a permanent lesson in the cost of military and intelligence complacency. The lesson: no position of strength is impregnable. Underestimating an adversary's capability and willingness to strike can have existential consequences. Mistake number 2. The Apollo 17 launch and the birth of laissez-faire environmental policy, 1972. From a military failure to a policy failure with consequences that would span generations. Just over 30 years later, America is reaching for the moon, but turning a blind eye to its own planet. The context: the 1970s saw a burgeoning environmental movement. The EPA was new, and landmark laws like the Clean Air Act were being tested against powerful industrial interests and a growing pro-business political ideology. The December 11th symbol. The launch of Apollo 17 on December 11, 1972, the final crewed moon mission, produced the blue marble photo, becoming the defining image of the environmental movement. Ironically, this era also saw the aggressive promotion of deregulation and laissez-faire economics that directly opposed environmental protection. The mistake. The critical error was the ideological choice, solidified in this period, to prioritize unchecked corporate growth and short-term profit over long-term environmental stewardship and regulation, dismissing ecological warnings as anti-business. The consequence: this policy direction delayed crucial action on pollution and, most significantly, climate change for decades. The carbon emissions locked in during the late 20th century created the climate crisis we face today. It represents perhaps the most costly long-term policy mistake in modern history. The lesson: prioritizing short-term economic gain over long-term planetary health is a gamble with civilization-level stakes. Scientific warnings cannot be ignored for ideological convenience. Conclusion: so what connects a surprise naval attack, a willful environmental neglect, and a digital blind spot? They all represent a failure to respect a fundamental truth: the world is always changing and threats evolve. In 1941, we failed to imagine a new kind of warfare. In the 1970s, we failed to prioritize a new kind of threat to our national security, the health of our planet. And in the 21st century, we failed to secure a new domain of conflict. December 11th teaches us that the greatest danger to America is not any single enemy, but the arrogance of believing we are immune to new forms of attack, whether by plane, by pollution, or by code. The lesson is eternal. Vigilance, imagination, and respect for data are the only true defenses. Which of these failures of foresight do you think was most avoidable? Let me know in the comments. If you believe in learning from history's blind spots, please like and subscribe for more daily history. Thanks for watching.